I'm Al Levine, the talking machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip Hayner, and we got a special show here tonight. And I got to show this. We got a new camera person. Let me wheel this out. Oh, man. I got to watch my fingers. Whoa, this cake's heavier than I thought.
It's that white batter.
We'll just get it there. All
It's
right.
that white batter.
Happy birthday, Smoking Jim Frazier. Can we get that? Let her focus.
Wow, that looks good.
Did we get a focus on that? Hey, you're learning. We got a rookie, Linda Crawl. Everybody in Bethel knows her. Everybody in Penn State knows her. Everybody in the state of California knows who Linda Crawl is. We're honored to have her on the show. I have my cake. Look at that.
Linda Groh and I are connected from way back in the day.
And I'll keep talking. There's a little reason behind the Batman. I first met Smoking like 13 years ago. So he invited me to a Super Bowl party after I'd worked with him for about 4 or 5 months. And I'm at the Super Bowl, all people I never knew. They said they were going to interview me. I had to say I was the token white guy. And I'm there with everybody. I made friends. They liked that. And they said, hey, you're pretty good. I knew stuff.
I thought they said you're pretty white.
Yeah. Well, Smoking Jim goes, he's right. So we're there, and I'm talking to him, and half hour goes by. I don't see Smoking Jim. So I go, where's Smoking Jim? And this guy, I won't mention his name. It's his hero, and he's his mentor and tour mentor. And he goes, he's known as Batman. A couple ladies that Smoking Jim calls models. They go, yeah, he disappears all the time at every event we're at. I go, oh, so I should feel all right. They go, yeah, he won't be back. So we're going to let Linda take a little picture of us for Facebook, and then we'll cut the cake. And I know we're supposed to talk sports, but my best friend, love him or hate him, I love him. And I'm glad I got a nice cake for him. And we'll let you take a picture in the middle so you get all of us. And I'll hold it up since I'm proud to have this. You got us all in? Cheese, spaghetti, rigatoni. You get 3 picks?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine.
All right. I got to get some plates out.
Another year younger, huh, Smoking?
By the way, anybody that wants
We're
to know,
going backwards now.
anybody that wants to know how old Smoking Jim is, nobody knows.
But for the right price.
I'll cut the first piece for Smoking.
All right.
We do accept cash.
Yes, we do.
I hope there's white in the middle.
There, can you get a picture on camera with the white?
Just the way I like it.
White in the middle. We got white in the middle. Can you get a view of me cutting a cake or anything like that? If we can try. There's white in the middle.
All right.
Whoa. Pardon my finger, buddy.
I don't mind your finger. Me and Chance don't mind, brother. Thank you, sir.
Watch, don't drop it.
Yeah, and if you want another piece, Chip, I wasn't
you
sure
got a
what
tray
size.
No, that's
mark on-
good.
You
That's
got a
good.
trademark on this cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. This is official.
Hey, Jim's eating a trademark.
That ain't too much for you, is it, Chip?
No, I gotta watch my girlish figure.
Well, I eat right all the time.
Chip got a Frazier there. He got a Frazier there.
One of that's Adam Frazier.
Yeah. No
Where
doubt,
is
number
Adam?
26.
All right, we got none of that video of me cutting the cake. We'll get down to some business. We got to get to the show and talk some sports. smoking, oh, that icing. Buttercream icing, white cake. Oh, man. We're living large.
Make sure you get a slice for Drew.
I'll have to get one to take home then. All right, let's start this show. We got promos coming right now. I'll read this one to start out with. Linda, I'll let you focus on it, and then I'll read. I got to take a bite of cake.
Where's that golden voice of Mr. Nicholas Callis?
That's some good stuff, brother.
The rookie Linda did very well. Look at that. We salute you. First annual Bethel Park Art and Music Festival. Enjoy a day of free music and art. Coming up Saturday, July 27, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. The Bethel Park Art and Music Festival will take place at the Bethel Park Community Center, the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, as well as in the field and parking lot in between these buildings. And the splash pad is right beside it. It's not on here, but that's what's there too, and it will be open the whole time, I think. Featuring 60-plus artists from South Arts Pittsburgh, Bethel Art Guild, and other art groups, plus premier Pittsburgh artist Linda Barnacourt, my friend John O'Prasak, my co-host, co-producer Maria DeSimone Prasak, J.P. DeRoll, who was a guest on one of my painting shows, and Larry Brandsetter Doodler. Live performances by local and regional bands all day at the Gazebo. My friend Rick Purcell's going to be performing, great musician for 50 years. My great friend from Cuba, who's been here for 5 years, Hugo Cruz and his band. Wait till you hear them. Cuban music and jazz and everything else. And he sings. Unbelievable. Wait till you hear him bongos and drums. Just giving that little boost. There will be food trucks throughout the day, basket raffles and 50-50, as well as information booths from local business and organizations. If you heard that, that was a 2-liter ginger ale bottle from Smokin' Jim that was shaken up in his car because he drives like 15 miles an hour.
Mr. Magoo.
Yeah. He's a great driver. He chauffeurs me around.
Road hog.
Not one accident yet. Attendees will be able to use the splash park throughout the day. If you don't feel like standing, dust off your parking chair and bring it with you. Parking will be off-site with a shuttle bus to the festival. The best part, the Bethel Park Art and Music Festival is free. Promos are coming up next. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria in the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. Welcome back. Thanks for watching our promos. That's icing. Wow, best buddy, best friend, this is delicious. I hope you enjoy the cake. What's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Oh.
you got the C, Levine. Hey, man, I want to thank you, Al Levine, the talking machine. 13 years in a row. You didn't forget my birthday, man. I appreciate it.
Well, you don't have two.
Yeah, I lost a month a couple of weeks ago. I forgot. I lost a month, so I'm glad you.
That was a shock how you lost that month.
And I celebrated my birthday with Bronny James scoring 2 points last night.
Hold it.
When he
Let me interrupt you. I don't care about the points. He ran down the floor and he blocked the shot.
That was beautiful. That was nice.
Now, he got up there pretty good.
Yeah, he got up there pretty good.
But the Dream Team almost lost to Australia.
Oh, my.
They only beat them by 6 points.
Well,
I know.
Bronny James ain't shooting air balls. He's shooting bricks. But here's something I did last week, Chip, in my finale. I said, I don't know if you agree with me.
We
But
don't.
I did my top 10 Pittsburgh Pirates, and my number 10 all-time Pirate was Paul Skeens. So I don't know if it's too early yet.
Yeah.
Or you want to jump on board with me.
Hold it.
But
One
that's what's on my
disclaimer.
mind.
Chip, Honus Wagner on his list was number 3.
Yeah.
He made the first class of the Hall of Famers, one of the best ever.
Yeah.
How can you put him 2 people ahead of him?
And Roberto 1 and Paul and Kiner number 2.
Well, there's quite a number of deserving. I mean, I think actually Big and Little Poison should
I
both
know,
be
the Wayner
considered.
brothers.
They should both.
He didn't know who they
both-
were.
Both be considered. Obviously Bill Mazeroski
Yeah, he was on there.
would have to be considered.
Barry
Clemente,
Bonds was
obviously,
number
Honest
4.
Wagner.
No, he was on, but I thought Honus Wagner should have been number 1.
Barry Bonds was number 4. No problem with that, dude.
I can see him being in the top 10, but not number 4.
Andy Van Slyke, number 9.
Well, he
Paul
didn't.
Skeens,
But neither of them played long enough to be considered all-time greats.
It's
You know,
like you at Cal U.
You look at the guys that played 18, 20 years.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that, to me,
Willie was on.
But that was a different game of baseball. There's no such thing as free agency. The reserve clause, the owners could keep you forever, and either you played for them or you didn't play.
Dave Parker made it too. Is that okay?
Yeah, I would have to beg to differ because
There was a Coke problem.
we look at statistics and we're blinded to all the circus acts that he was responsible for that surrounded his time in Pittsburgh, which is what has kept him out of the Hall of Fame.
Good point, Chip. That's it, Smoking?
That's it.
He's eating, folks. Let's Smoking Jim eat. First of all, I got the Facebook feed. Koyana Pederuju, Pete Kasich, and 4 other people are watching. Paul Haley, good evening, gents, watching on Facebook, live in South Carolina. Chief said, happy birthday, Smokin'.
Thank you, sir.
Paul Haley, happy birthday, Smokin' Jim. Ron
Thank you,
Tepper, happy birthday, Jim.
Thank you.
Teresa Mariana, happy birthday, Jim. Pete Kasich, happy birthday, Jim.
Thank you.
Paul Haley, big poison, little poison. James Ericanother is watching. Adian McGrath is watching. Arjun Reddy's watching. So with our boost, we have 7,440 followers now. That's the highest we've ever been. So maybe we can hit 7,450.
Wow.
I'm checking my phone. No, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. And Chip Hayner, you're all geared up for Buccos. What's on your mind?
And I know everybody would have a hard time guessing, but it's great to be back. A little bit of a summer hiatus, but I'm back in effect. So I'll mention this fact, and I'm going to pass on talking about it in great depth because I know Mr. Callis would definitely has some things to say. But Paul Skeens starting the All-Star game tonight, the first round draft pick in his rookie season. That's starting the All-Star game, quite an accomplishment.
And that's Major League history.
And kudos to Paul Skeens, kudos to the Pittsburgh Pirates for drafting him because they could have screwed that up. They could have picked Dylan Cruz. He hasn't made it to the major leagues yet.
Great point, Chip.
One of his teammates. So
welcome back.
So good point there. Next up, and I'm just wondering because we've got these All-Star games, which are nothing more than a glorified exhibition game.
Mm-hmm.
And of all the exhibition games or All-Star games, whatever you want to call them, the Major League All-Star game is actually the one that most closely resembles a real game because it is a 9-inning game. You have to get 27 outs. One team's going to beat the other, and so forth and so on. So, what they try to do is they try to, dress these up, and they've really done a horrible job with the Pro Bowl, with the NHL All-Star game, with the NBA All-Star Weekend. Done just a horrible job.
Who watches those games? I don't.
Nobody does. Nobody does. So what did the Major League Baseball do? They've got a showcase like Paul Skeens. What they decided to do was they said, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, you think you've screwed this up? Hold my beer. Hold my beer. Okay? So what do? We turned batting practice into a thing. Okay, and we call it a derby. All right, so it's batting practice, and I don't care what anybody says.
Well, pitchers are pitching batting practice.
So what's the next best thing you could do to make batting practice more appealing? How about getting a drunk country music star to murder the national anthem? Okay.
This isn't a disclaimer, but she said she was drunk and she's going to go into rehab.
Oh, okay. Well, do you think she
Just
had
so
any
you
choice?
know.
Did you think she had any other choice? Otherwise, she'd be playing in front of a stadium of empty seats. Okay. So.
Yeah, good point, Chip.
So I'm thinking maybe the way the NFL can one up them
Yeah.
is when they have their dodgeball game. Maybe they could have, another country music star sing the national anthem, and maybe you get her drunk too. I wonder if Beyonce is available.
Whoa, she sing country. She does now, right?
That's Jim's favorite country music star.
Well, that's why he likes country.
So anyhow, so last night was probably one of the most useless programs on TV. I refused to watch it. Watching batting practice and then calling it a derby and saying, wow, this guy hit 49 home runs. Those weren't home runs. I'm sorry, never will be. I mean, you got a guy standing 40 feet from home plate, lobbing you the ball. And
what was the speed of the balls? 30-some miles an hour?
I don't know. But to me, a home run in baseball is a pitcher on the rubber, 60 feet, 6 inches from home plate, actually trying to get the batter out. And then if he connects and the ball goes out of the park, that's a home run. What we witnessed, or what some people may have witnessed last night, was a farce. And I wouldn't waste my time or even, any kind of credit of watching that. So
well, you don't want to lose your sleep for the
I
next
don't,
day.
Obviously, I have no love for batting practice. If I want to see batting practice, I can go down to the game 2 hours early, sit in the stands, and watch them hit balls into the.
How exciting is that?
It's like watching mold grow on cheese in your refrigerator.
Whoa! I never did that.
So next up, here we got the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have gotten themselves to the point where they have 48 wins and 48 losses.
Oh, Chip, you stole my thunder.
Well, you know what?
That was easy.
And here's what the thing is. The Pittsburgh Pirates are exactly in the place that I thought that they were going to be at the beginning of the year. If you remember, to start the season, I said that I believed that the Pirates would end up 84 and 78. Mm-hmm. And I still think that is a possibility this year.
Whoa.
That being said, even if the Pirates do end up going 84 and 78, there's still a better than likely chance that they won't make the playoffs this year, because there are a lot of teams competing for the playoffs, and it's not going to be a product of what the Pirates do or don't do. It's going to be dependent on what all of these other teams do, and there's 17 or 18 teams that are vying for wild card spots.
Right.
The second half of this season, the next 8-10 weeks, are going to be interesting. And I think that the Pirates, the way they sit right now, they can contend. But are they going to get there? I don't know. Are they going to make a big splash move at the trade deadline? I highly doubt it. I think what the Pirates are going to work on is working with what they have and not giving up the farm. Because to be honest with you, this Pirate team is good. They're not great. I don't believe that, I believe
your advice, don't make moves.
I wouldn't make moves unless it was going to make the team better. And I've heard some talk about a couple of players that the Pirates might be interested in. And looking at what their performance is this year, what the Pirates don't need is another hitter that bats .220 and strikes out a lot. Okay, because we already got a lineup full of those guys. How is another one of them going to make us a better team?
Right.
So, I think there are pieces on the team that can perform better, that could give the Pirates, Brian Hayes being one. Jack Sawinski, think about this. 19 home runs his first year, 26 home runs last year.
Yeah.
I would not
give... have 3 this year or 4?
He might have 7.
Okay.
I wouldn't throw the towel in on him yet. Okay, I mean he's a young talent. You've got control over him, and he
does have power.
He does have power. He's got to figure it out. You don't blame the coaches for it. It's the guy standing in the batter's box that's taking strike 3.
Yeah.
So they
Well, at least they sent him down to the minors. Unlike Pedro Alvarez, Smoking Jim's favorite player, he should have been sent down. Well, at least once or twice.
So the Pirates are in a good place, and if they don't make any moves, I'm not going to be brokenhearted about it. And if they do, I hope the moves they make the team better, but not just better this year, better next year and the year after it. Because just buying rental players now and giving up prospects for them, I think it would be a foolish move, and I don't think Charrington is dumb enough to do something like that. So those are all the things that are on my mind. Take it away, Alan.
All right. Jim, one good question.
Yes, sir.
Do you like the Pirates in the first round draft in the high school senior?
Well, here's the interesting thing, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Always looking for negativity.
No. Wait a minute. The first thing I heard when I heard the Pirates drafted somebody number 9 is people criticizing the Pirates for who they took.
Why do you think he brought it up?
So here's what my thoughts are. Out of all the kids that were drafted in the Major League Baseball draft, anybody that's criticizing the Pirates for who they drafted, I guarantee you didn't scout a single one of these kids, ever watched them play, don't even know what they're capable of doing.
Including Jim.
So what Ben Charrington said on Sunday is they are going to take the best athlete available, okay? Now, in the Major League draft, 1 out of every 10 players in the draft is even going to ever make it to the major leagues, and even fewer of them are going to become stars.
You know, that's 10%.
As a general rule on a baseball team, your 2 best athletes are either going to be your shortstop or your center fielder. So just because somebody's drafted as a shortstop, okay, doesn't necessarily mean that you're married to making him a shortstop. If he's good enough to play shortstop, he's good enough to play any position in the field.
The greatest player they ever drafted was last year, and he was a senior in college playing in the national championship. But why don't they do that again?
Well, because there's no player like that available this year.
Where do you get your logic?
There's college seniors that played in playoffs and championships.
Yeah, but there's no player like Paul Skeens was last year in this year's draft. There was
So get a high school kid?
Well, why not?
Smoking Jim. I got a question for Smoking Jim.
How many college players get drafted and never make it to the major leagues?
I'll tell you what, Chip. I got to defend Smoking Jim a little bit because this was a pretty heavy college draft where like a lot of big college names were in it, and that's where now Smoking. I don't believe he knows what he's talking about to the fullest of extents.
I second that emotion, Nick. I was going to say, to interrupt you, he's an NFL scout. He watches high school and college games and football.
Yeah, so he's not the best person to ask, but I mean, he's got a point. I mean, he doesn't know why. He doesn't know why he has a point, but he has a point.
Great point, Nick.
But I did not see anybody in this draft that I was like, you know what? I didn't see any can't miss prospects.
Hold on. How many years have you watched this? How many years have you watched the draft?
I never watched the draft.
There you go.
You know,
he's given his opinion.
Neither did anybody else.
On the contrary, I actually did so.
I was hoping to get a response.
Yeah. Hello. I watched the draft.
All right.
I think we might have cleared that up. Thank you.
So there you go.
Thank you, Chip. Appreciate it.
And what happens if this guy, 3 years from now, is the best player that's ever walked on the field?
Then Smoking Jim would be wrong again.
But you'll never know that because the Major League draft is nothing like the NFL draft. You can draft people in the NFL and they can play this year and make an impact on their team, and that never happens, with the exception of Skeens in the last 10 years.
We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, the last time that happened was Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Steven Strasburg, and that was over a decade ago.
Chip, he doesn't know those names, but you're right. It's rare. That's the point of it.
It doesn't happen often.
All right, we're gonna go to me next. Arjun Reddy's watching. Frank Manna said Ralph Kiner. Cafeo Maximed, Setiano Tion, Jake Wagner, Nang Nang. Chief said awesome shirt, Chipper, go Skeens.
Thanks, Chief.
Mark Parmay is watching. Mary Johnsy's watching. Ibrahim Aiden Debu is watching. Dave Cable's watching. We salute the director. Thanks for tuning in. Margaret Rohde's watching. Peggy's watching with Nick then. Hello, all. Watching a great show from Rochester, New York. Happy birthday, Jim, Nick, and Peggy Rohde. We thank you. Tall Man is watching. All right, what's on my mind? He stole some of my thunder. Everybody knows.
You had to know I was going to. You had to know.
Yeah, I did know. I'm not mad about it because I'm a disgruntled Pirate fan. And I've been waiting for the 5-year plan, but I have patience with the 6-year plan. And I watched more games last year and this year than I had in the last 3 years for one reason. Charrington had to build a club from zero. That's like Smoking Jim being a baseball scout. Look what he did. We have a team that won 48 games, and they only lost 48 games. To me, this is a winning season, even though I don't agree with 500. But look at the progress. And then we haven't had that real big winning streak yet. We've had a losing streak. So I know I'm an optimist in baseball. A winning streak could come of 10 games.
Can I tell you an interesting
lay it out there?
Useless statistic that I heard?
You know I love that stuff.
Okay, the Pittsburgh Pirates are the only team in Major League Baseball history that have gone close to 60 games where they haven't lost 3 games in a row, nor have they won 3 games in a row.
That's weird.
Up until this past weekend. But I think, but the fact of the matter is that we haven't won 3 games in a row is as interesting as the fact that we haven't lost 3 games in a row. Since a 7-game losing streak in April, we've pretty much have played.
Been 50-50
but I mean, we fell back, but, we dug ourselves a little bit of a hole. But they fought their way back out, and who knows what the rest of the season's going to bring.
Well, what do they say in hockey? You like gritty players? We have a gritty baseball team because they hate to lose and hate to get behind. Have they gotten shut out? Have they got blown out? Yes. Then they've won 14-2, 8 to something, 9 to something.
Look what they did this weekend. Saturday's game, Sunday's game. They scored more runs in the 8th and 9th inning. And it doesn't matter when you score them as long as you score them.
Yeah. And I learned in Little League, like you did, Chip, all you need to do is score one more team in the bottom of the 6th inning to win a game. So that's how simple baseball is for Smoking, since you're learning about it. But that's all you need to do. So I'm on the Bucko bandwagon. Let's go Bucks. And I appreciate a weak division. But Chip made a good point. You're not just fighting our division, it's the whole NL.
There's a lot of teams that are right there. I mean, within a couple, 3 games, and things could go any way.
Yes. And Paul Haley said he likes Big Poison and Little Poison. The Wayner Bros. Yes, sir. All right, we're going to Fiction and Fact. We got Nick going to be here? I wasn't sure. You never directed me to you would be speaking.
We went over this.
Not with me.
Okay, you ready?
Get set.
I'm ready if you are.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Where's the camera on you? Put a phone on him.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the control room. Chance is here, learning how to direct. Wave hi, Chance.
All right, Chance.
There he is.
Very nice man.
Good man.
There we see my
legend.
suggestion.
Very good. So,
looking good, Nick.
Big Poison,
Chance.
Little Poison.
Chance, you look great with that orange belt on. Proud of you, buddy.
So this is the yearly. Chip and I are going to argue about the home run derby, and I'm going to try to find a unique argument every year to take it down, because I believe the home run derby is cool. I think it's fine, and I think that they made a lot of rule changes to it this year to make it more like the traditional way that it was first conceived, while also keeping a clock in there and keeping it exciting. I think Michael Buffer at the championship round was a lot. If you saw that, it was I think that was a little too much. The showmanship of it was a little too much, but you could look at it in a sense of its glorified batting practice, but you could also look at it in a sense of the pitchers in baseball are trying to get the hitters out, and so you're going to see them fail a lot. Why not create, which is why I'm glad they did this, you've created an event where the hitters get to demonstrate the full power that they have as hitters. And I've made this argument before, too. I couldn't go out there and hit the ball 460 feet in the shape I'm in. I don't think any of these guys could. I don't think that the average person could do that. And so when you look at it that way, yeah, I mean, it's easy for them because they're professionals. It could be seen that way, although not every professional, I think, could even do that either. It's a difficult event for average people, or even some of the average professionals that you see out there. They put the guys in there, though, that have the most power to really extract the maximum amount of power that they could possibly produce, and that's why it's exciting. And I think that if you look at all the other special events in sports, the Home Run Derby leads those. I think it's the most exciting of all of the all-star break events you see in sports, and it's because you're doing something that you know not everybody could do, and it's tangible. Like the dunk contest is about judgment. They get scores and everything, and that's been criticized recently. This is a tangible way. Here's a ball. You're supposed to hit it. And you notice in some of the participants, too, are getting force-fed the ball, and they still can't hit sometimes. That's why it's such an exciting event. You've got to be able to hit under pressure and compete with people who are around you in the competition as well, and you've got to make it through 3 rounds. So that's, again, it's not just glorified batting practice. These guys are trying to hit home runs, and they're maximizing their abilities in this event. Moving forward as well, because I've got several opinions, and I was reminded of one I want to give a little bit later. There's like 5 things I wanted to talk about today, but I'll keep it short because time keeps moving. But I'm excited for Paul Skeens to be in it. Something tells me that Paul Skeens is going to revolutionize how the minor league baseball development is done. I think that the way the NFL develops players, they're drafted right away and then they play right away. Not that every single player ever. There's more draft picks to choose from in baseball, and there's a lot more development that needs done. But I think when you get a special player like this, more of those guys are going to start getting chances earlier on in their careers because Major League Baseball now wants to capitalize on the big names. And I think that Paul Skeens was good enough to mow through the minors. Paul Skeens demonstrated he knows how to pitch at a major league level. He is a pitcher, and he's starting the All-Star game, and I think that there's a lot of pride he can take in that, a lot of pride Pittsburgh can take in that. But also it just shows you, hey, sometimes these guys are good enough, sometimes these guys are ready, and sometimes it's not a great idea always to just blindly go through the motions of, well, this was traditional old-school baseball, so we should keep it that way. I like what baseball's doing. I like what the face of the game is becoming, and I think that it's a nice mix of, okay, there's still some traditional elements that you have where this game has lasted so long, but you're also modernizing it with more, personable players, a game that has a pace and a rhythm and intensity to it. It's all really coming together, and the fact that Paul Skeens is on the Pirates at the face of all of that happening, all the revolutions that are happening in Major League Baseball, I love it, and that's what's on my mind.
Thank you, Nick. And I didn't get to mention congrats to Paul Skeens and his girlfriend Livy Dunn with a special outfit for the All-Star game.
Wow. Hey, Nick, while if you're
I'm still here,
on
hello.
there, do we have time to touch on the no-hitter that wasn't?
Well, I'm going to talk about that in my opinion segment. So if you
want to wait, we'll have a counterpoint on there.
I'll touch base on it then.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. All right, we'll move on with what do we have? Fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine.
We got a graphic for you.
Oh, my fault.
Go for it, Jim.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Want to give a shout out to Linda and the VIP of BP.
Whoa, look at that picture.
Nick, and I tell you what, I'm proud of
Hold
Chance
it. What's
getting
the
a promotion.
disclaimer? He's wearing a Sox hat. We just swept him, Chip said.
It goes with my outfit.
How much? $2 for that?
But hey, I'm going to be very short. I'm not going to talk about what I had to talk about.
Okay, let's move on.
But I agree with you guys that the Pirates do not want to go back to the Guinness Book of World Records. It's 20 straight losing seasons. I'm proud of that. But I'm mainly proud of, and I got an advantage over everybody because I got a crystal ball. I was the first one on the planet, and I took a lot of heat. The first time I seen Paul Skeens throw a pitch, I said he should go to the 2024 All-Star game. A lot of people pushed back. Not only did he make the All-Star game through my crystal ball, but he's a starting pitcher. So I'm proud that I was the first one to say he should go to an All-Star game.
That was the first time this year your crystal ball was right. And it's July.
Hey,
so 7 months for the crystal ball.
His scouting abilities.
Top 10 Pirate of all time.
He gave the 74 Steelers draft a D-. And he gave,
Five.
And he gave the Pirates. He gave the Pirates draft a D- last July.
We can't go wrong.
He's consistent.
And if you don't bet, don't start. All right, that shows you should not be a degenerate gambler like my best friend.
But that's okay.
All right, we got to go to trivia time. 10 seconds.
You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody know what today is?
Mexican Independence Day.
What is today's date?
July 16th.
July 16th. July 16th memorializes something that happened 83 years ago.
I don't have a clue.
That will never happen again in Major League Baseball.
I don't know.
Today was the day that Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak ended.
Wow.
How could that slip my mind? That record will never be broken.
Just to give you an idea, 83 years ago.
Wow.
During the 1941 Major League Baseball season, Joe DiMaggio recorded at least one hit in 56 consecutive games.
Wow.
Breaking the Major League Baseball record for the longest hitting streak. His run lasted from May 15th to July 16th, during which he had a .408 batting average. Wow. DiMaggio's streak surpassed the single-season record of 44 consecutive games that had been held by Wee Willie Keeler.
Whoa, hit them where they ain't.
1897.
Hit them where they ain't, he's famous
His
for.
motto was, hit them where they ain't. And the longest streak spanning multiple seasons also accomplished by Keeler. The record remains held by DiMaggio and has been described as unbreakable. Trying to get to what his statistics were.
Go ahead.
If I can scroll through.
You got
here.
a little bit of time.
I don't want to.
Smoking Jim kept it short.
Okay, the statistical summary. Let's see here.
Lay it on us.
Of course, it's not. But anyhow,
Google's not.
A .408 batting average over the course of 2 months, 56 games. Now, 1941 was one of the greatest summers in Major League Baseball because that is the last time anybody batted 400 for a season.
Yeah.
Ted Williams batted 400 for the season in 1941, but they felt that Joe DiMaggio's streak was a much more significant event that Ted Williams did not win the most valuable player award that year.
How crazy is that?
Joe DiMaggio did. Now, that's the difference between playing in Boston and playing in New York City. Okay?
What about Pittsburgh?
Well, Pittsburgh at that time had probably 5 times the population that we have now.
Yeah, half a
million. It was a much more bustling city, but so to speak. So I just wanted to make note, July 16th was a significant day, and that is an accomplishment that will never be duplicated. And if it was so
Chip,
easy
I
to
agree
do,
with you.
83 years and counting.
I think that's what
Smoking Jim. Smoking Jim won't take the challenge
if you can't get a hit a game.
Hold it. Nick Callis challenged you. Smoking Jim. Nick Callis.
Even when he was juicing.
His head got big like a basketball. You got to start juicing again. Nick Callis challenged you to hitting a ball, and you refused it for. Nick's been here 4 years.
If I played the major leagues, I would.
No, we want to play right in the parking lot. We'll take you out in the parking lot.
It is true. I have wanted to play with Smoking. So
yeah, we're confirming that. Very good. Thanks, Nick, for backing me up.
No problem.
All right, we got to go to trivia time in 10 seconds.
No, we got a Nick. VIP time.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the correction. VIP time for his part 2 of the 5 things he wanted to say plus.
Okay, let's talk about what I wanted to talk about, which is one of the 5 things. Yeah.
Where's Nick at?
I'm here. Hello.
Where's Chance on the camera?
Chance went to the restroom. And
there he is.
There we go.
We just wanted to see our fellow co-host.
Yeah, he's here. So
we're very visual. There's Chance.
So let's talk about real quick. So give me 1 second.
Chance again.
Stall for me. Hold on. Okay,
this is live TV, folks.
So, okay, here we go. So, Paul Skeens, I like Chip's talking about Joe DiMaggio and his hit streak and stuff, too, because, old-timey baseball, right, it's fun that a bunch of these records happen before and we can celebrate that and whatever. But it's nice to see now that Paul Skeens is doing things that guys like Nolan Ryan were the last to do in Major League Baseball. I can't remember the last time a prospect made it up so quickly, and he's the first pitcher to start an All-Star game for the Pirates in 49 years, which is awesome.
Wow.
I think he's the youngest pitcher that's ever going to play in an All-Star game in Pirates history, and he's 22, right? To put that in perspective, I'm 25, and I started here when I was 22. This dude's only 22 years old. He's got a whole canvas of a career to set. And so I like seeing that. There is definitely some appreciation for modern players that we can have. And it's just awesome to see that Paul Skeens is pitching in the year 2024, and he'll be pitching hopefully until, at least 10 years from now, 15 years from now. So that's great.
No.
Now, what I wanted to talk about in particular, though, was that he almost threw a no-hitter against the – what are we giggling about in there? I can hear you.
Oh, here, Chip has a point for you.
Hey, Nick, the last Pirate pitcher to start the All-Star game. Do you know his name?
I don't.
It's Jerry Royce. He played for a short while here in Pittsburgh and actually made his name more so pitching for the Dodgers.
Wow.
Right, but my point was that Paul Skeens is the first Pirate in 49 years to start.
No, he just he's reinforcing that with we saw him play.
My whole point, though, right, is that you've got a guy who's young, doing well, and doing historic things in the year 2024, which is why I think we should appreciate, what he's doing. He's throwing with high velocity. He's throwing all kinds of pitches, and he's making hitters look silly. That's my point. He was making the Brewers look silly. What was that? About a week ago? Not even.
Yeah.
Last Thursday.
Thursday, right? So
what happened
almost a week ago. So the guy is on the brink of throwing a no-hitter, and unfortunately, with some good modern things that happen, there are also some bad things, which is that he's on an innings limit, and he was not allowed to go out and continue competing for the no-hitter after the 7th inning. And I personally was rather upset with this move, and I don't support certain things as it relates to statistics. I mean, you've heard me talk before, though. I'm not a big stat guy. I'm not a big analytics guy. I think that there's logic towards certain things that these guys do, but not all the time and not every time. And this is one of those moments where you're in a game where the Pirates weren't even scoring, which is rough. I don't think anybody could tell me that anybody but Paul Skeens was the best pitcher to go out there and give you the best chance to win. Now, they did. Holderman and Chapman locked it down. That is what it is. But in terms of how they've been with Holderman recovering from injury and with Chapman not being stable, who was your best option there? It was Skeens, the way he was throwing. Skeens said it himself that he wasn't tired and his schedule's his schedule and it is what it is, which is frustrating to hear too because it sounds like he even wanted to go back out there and he wanted to continue pitching in that game. Derek Shelton just said, he was looking tired, and I don't buy that, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't buy that explanation, especially because Skeens pretty much refuted that in his press conference. He said, "Well, the schedule is what it is, so I'm going to move on and do what I'm told," and that's frustrating to see. As somebody who hasn't really seen history done by the Pirates, we've had some great players come up since I've been around, and Andrew McCutchen, I've always talked about as like one of the most influential players in the history of the team. That's a different argument. I know I've been argued. That point's been argued by me or by others toward me before. But Paul Skeens is doing a lot of historic things, and he's on a trajectory right now that is really unprecedented. I've never seen a no-hitter. I haven't been alive for a Pirates no-hitter. There have been no pitchers good enough in the Pirates organization since I've been alive that have really even been close to doing that. I think A.J. Burnett was one actually in Chicago, but that was like the only one. There weren't too many guys who have been really close to these no-hitters, let alone a guy who may be considered one of the best pitchers in the history of the game if he continues on the trajectory that he's on, the way he's throwing consistently. You robbed history here by protecting a 1-0 lead in a game where you really wanted to try to confidently say that the bullpen was a better option than Paul Skeens. And it's a 1-0 win as well. You're sacrificing history for a 1-0 win. Okay. I want to have some pride in this Pirates organization. Yeah. And I was way more chapped before I heard that he was going to start the All-Star game. Like, I want to be able to be proud of this team. I want to be able to be proud of the decisions that this team is making. I want to be proud of the players that are on this team, and I can't necessarily do that if they're going to make these just blind decisions based on statistics and based on trends just because there's a schedule. I think that you've got to look at that situation a little bit differently, no matter how much of an innings limit that he's on. Because again, I haven't been around for much of history, and Paul Skeens is a revolutionary pitcher. He's doing unprecedented things for this organization, and I want to see that. So if he has the opportunity to throw a no-hitter, if he's close and he's there, give me the opportunity to see that.
Okay.
He's your best option.
All right, Nick, I know you're on a roll here, and I would have to tend to disagree with you because, okay, there was no guarantee that he was going to get a no-hitter, and he was already at 99 pitches. The coaches that watch him every day, we watch him, maybe every 5 days at best. They know, what his body's like. They know
Chip,
how he reacts.
What baseball experience? Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, real quick.
Ding, ding.
Hold on.
Ding, ding.
What experience do you have in baseball that makes you just blindly trust every single coach's decision that ever happens in the organization?
Well, because the coaches are there, Nick, every day. And they see these people. They obviously have better insight than either you or I.
Well, Chip, I'll just tell you this. Like, as I grew up and as I played, I went through college and I started to see some coaches and some styles from opponents, from my own coaches. I played on travel ball teams where there was just different flavors of coaches. And the older I got, and part of the reason why baseball, playing it started to frustrate me was because I looked up to the major league coaches like they were these heroes and these people that were perfect, and they always knew everything. And as I learned about it, there's a reason why coaches get fired. There's a reason why coaches aren't a part of organizations anymore. There's a reason why teams struggle, because the blend of coaches, players, and management isn't getting the thing done. And so the more I learned about that and the more I experienced a whole plethora of coaches in my own youthful career, I'm noticing that these guys don't actually know everything all the time.
Right.
And it's not
just. If that is the case.
But Chip, hold on.
What you're saying is the case. Neither do you, neither do I. And to make a judgment based on what we think we know is kind of foolish, don't you think?
Well, no, because I can have my opinion. You have your humble opinion all the time.
Always.
We all have our opinions. Paul Skeens said in a press conference, hey, I wanted to complete the game, but you know what? I'm on a schedule, so it is what it is.
All right.
That's what frustrates me.
I'd like to speak to the Paul Skeens thing. And, I don't want to wrap this up real quick because we're coming to the end of the show. Paul Skeens is an amazing generational talent, and the sky is the absolute limit for him. What I would like to see Paul Skeens do better is not throw 78 pitches in the first 4 innings of the game and have less 8 and 9 pitch outs early in the game as opposed to getting batters out in 3 or 4 pitches. And then he would get to the point where he would be able to complete games. And right now, he's not trending towards being the kind of pitcher that's going to pitch a lot of complete games. And I think that is the only flaw that I see in him. And that's something that I would like to see him do better.
How come Eduardo Jimenez in 2010 was able to throw a 150-pitch no-hitter with the Colorado Rockies? Or no, it was Edwin Jackson. How come that was able to happen? Why 14 years later, why are we doing this?
It's a good question.
Thank you. I had a good question. Okay, Al, it's your turn.
On location, we got boxing August 24th under the Homestead Bridge. Stay there. It's at 2 o'clock afternoon. Smoking Jim and I will be announcing. We'll see who's on the camera. And thanks for watching our great show. We had plenty of good opinions, and a lot of that is what it is, and we had facts. I've seen no-hitters be pitched by Pirates, so just wanted to clarify that before we go, and I'm old school. Skeens is a generational player. There's no doubt about it. All I wish is that he stays healthy and can do that, because most pitchers don't have long careers. The rare ones do, and he's rare. Go Skeens, stay Joey strong.